Jaws, what's your reaction to this?
I'm not surprised. I mean, there's been some smoke about DeSean over the last few weeks, and usually where there's smoke, there's fire, and clearly there's something more than just football related in this. We know, as you just said, the numbers were fantastic. He had his best year in the NFL. He's a perfect fit for what Chip Kelly likes to do with his offense. It's about speed. It's about space. It's about players in space. It's about creating space for players. But clearly, this is not a football-related release, in my opinion. He's too valuable of a football player just to say goodbye to. So I think as time goes on, we'll be hearing a lot more about what's going on.
And that's what I'm surprised about, the word release. It is a release. It's not a trade. It's not a 7th-round draft pick or a 6th-round draft pick. I know the contract wasn't favorable to pick up, but still, it's a release. It's cutting ties and saying, we want no more of you. And I think this is a head coach, realizing where a situation might go with a player, okay? How strong is his personality in the locker room? Is he affecting other players in the locker room? Or is it possible that he can affect them negatively and looking out for the locker room? That possibly is what Chip Kelly is doing, and the mentality of his players, the attitude of his players. If I'm Chip Kelly, I've been a coach now for 1 year, okay? I've won the division. I've been to the playoffs. There are other things that I also want to accomplish and have a very positive workforce, work locker room. That's been the theme of the NFL this year, hasn't it? Okay, what's gone on in Miami, the certain things. Coaches now are looking other ways to improve their teams.
Yeah, clearly you look at Chip Kelly, what he's been able to do in a short period of time, going from 4-12 to 10-6. He is a strong believer you win in the locker room first. He wants to have a strong locker room culture. Apparently, DeSean Jackson was not one of those guys that fits the culture he wants to prevail in that Eagles locker room.
You could sense that the other day at the owners' meetings when Chip Kelly was talking and said, you know, I spoke to DeSean just a couple of days ago. Didn't get into specifics, but went on to say how I will always do what is best for my team.
That's correct.
Yeah. You could see it right there. As for his contract, he was due $10.5 million. That made it very, very tricky.
It did, and even the meeting DeSean had with Chip Kelly, it seemed like he came away from that positive that he was going to be back. But this is just the way it is in the NFL. 1 week you may feel something, the next week, the next day, things change, situations change, circumstances change. I call it the NFL truth, okay? The truth is different from Monday than it is on Tuesday. So that's the way it is. Chip Kelly didn't give him the endorsement, but even if he did, this was always possible, because you just never know what's going to happen with players and their careers.